So here we are down at the lake again this morning with Jack, who's a bit frisky. I know some of the days a bit boisterous, but then he's just a young boy. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, first things first, went out to let the chickens out this morning, and it seems that something got into the coop and dragged two of them off. So I need to get a bit more security in the chicken coop. I think a raccoon's got in there through the tunnel at the back, and the chickens have panicked and then knocked open the door, which locks them in, and apparently didn't lock them in, and unfortunately two of them got snatched. We've got quite a few raccoons around us because we have some pretty stupid neighbours who feed them, and these things do carry rabies occasionally, and we actually had to shoot one in our yard once because it was rabid. You can't just shoot within city limits, so you have to phone up the authorities and get permission. But yeah, so we're two chickens down. We had one which was left out, not by myself, because the person that was supposed to lock them up couldn't count to 7. So now we only have 4 left. So I guess maybe we'll have to get some more little ones and start again. Anyway, quite sad. I've not told my wife yet. I'll tell her when she gets up, and she'll start crying, of course. But there you go. That's Florida wildlife for you, and stupid people who feed wild animals. Probably the same people who will feed an alligator, you know, those type of people. Idiots. Anyway, I guess talking about idiots, we're getting into the final stages of the US selection process, where you got the red idiots and your blue idiots all competing to outdo each other and believe that the votes actually count. I did see a video, a guy talking about the consequences of either one of these puppets being put in place. And of course it all depends what the real people who run the world want, or not necessarily what they might want, but what they see to their best advantage, which I suppose amounts to the same thing. Harris, this whore who has slept her way to the top by all accounts, and some people quite openly have stated this, quite prominent people, and never been sued, so I guess it must be true, right? But this cackling hen of a woman, if she knows that she's a woman, I don't know if she does, this idiot, an utter moron, how anyone could think that could run a country is beyond me. And Trump's no different. Trump's just one of these wrestling actors in his past. He's still an actor, although he doesn't look fit enough to be wrestling these days. But yeah, there was a directive, I think they call it, passed. I don't know if it was actually Harris that was responsible for it, but she announced it. And it allows for the first time in American history US troops to use lethal force on US citizens on US soil. And thinking of this guy I was listening to, I can't remember who it was now. You look at so much stuff. This guy was, putting forward the idea that perhaps this could be used even prior to an election, or selection, sorry, to go after Trump supporters, and possibly to assassinate Donald Trump. But I don't think that's likely at all. I don't think the military are that that, what's the word, stupid as to carry out such a directive. Mind you, nothing would surprise me. But in general, the military seems to be more leaning towards republicanism than these people who pretend they're Democrats. So who knows what will happen there. Or it could be used afterwards if Harris is put in, which is the only way she'll ever get in, because as I say, who in their right mind could possibly vote for this idiot? I mean, she's got the intellect of a spanner, you know, a wrench or a brick or some other, well, mind you, they're useful, so perhaps not. She's got the intellect of something far less useful, probably her own voice. And then he mused it if Trump were to get in, then we're full steam ahead for World War III, following an attack on Iran. But then that can happen either way, can't it? We've seen Harris and Trump, you know, salivating over how wonderful Israel is. You know, the genocidal butchers. And anybody supporting what Israel is doing now is supporting genocide and it has no humanity in them. And of course people will tell you, oh well, I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. Evil is evil. You know, evil isn't a word that's used lightly to describe people or events. It's kind of extreme. So a lesser extreme, you know, it's not any better really than a rather less evil extreme. It's all evil and it's all extreme. So yeah, you know, I've told people I won't vote, and they're bemused. They're why not? Why not? And yeah, you know, you ask them, do you really think things have got any better throughout your whole life? You know, these people in the 50s, 60s, maybe late 40s, and you know, say, oh well, you know, you try to get ahead. You try to get ahead. I say, do you ever get ahead? I say, well, you know, inflation, and yeah. I say, so you don't get ahead really, do you? And I say, oh well, you know, you've got to do your best, you've got to keep working and trying your hardest and all that. I say, yeah, that's fair enough, but for all your work and everything, do you really think you've got what you deserve? And, oh well, the government takes too much taxes, blah, blah, blah. I say, yeah, it doesn't matter which government's in, does it? Because the tax revenues don't go down. Right? They always find ways of screwing you. And they just don't get it. They just don't understand it. They don't understand that inflation is in effect a tax as well. Because when prices go up, then your sales tax goes up. Right? It's quite simple. Something goes from $5 to $10, then your sales tax doubles. So if you put that into perspective, if you're trying to buy higher value items, you know, it's a lot of money. If something goes up 25%, it's a lot of money. And now, moving over to, hold on a second, Jack's got some sticky things stuck. Oh, he's got them off. I don't know if they've got them in the UK, I can't remember. Get these like green sticky things, and they come in like long strings. And if they get stuck on Jack, he goes crazy. So there must be some kind of toxin or something in them. He doesn't like them at all. We've usually got to pick them off him. Isn't that right, Jack? Yes. So we have the UK budget coming up. I think it's today actually. And as I say, your taxes never go down. They're saying, oh, well, we're not going to increase income tax, we're not going to increase your national insurance, which is like your social security in the US, which comes off your wages every month or every week, whatever you're paid. When I was there, it was 8%, I think. And tax, I don't know what tax is up to now, 20% or something. It's just nuts. That's income tax. And then, of course, the usual things will be hammered. You know, cigarettes, alcohol, fuel, all fuels, by the way, not just gasoline, petrol. But you got Tony Blair, you know, that war criminal Tony Blair, stating that the UK must, right, introduce pay per mile to combat global warming. Same old rubbish. Now, pay per mile. Think about it. You really have no idea, unless you're taking note of your mileage everywhere you go. You've no idea how much your tax bill is going to be at the end of that month, or whatever the period is going to be. And it's going to make you stop driving, right? Oh, let's go. You know, let's go down the coast to go to the beach for the day. Oh, that's a 100-mile round trip. Can't do that. And the oil companies, you would think that they would be coming out and saying, "Oh, no, we're not having this. That's going to cut our sales." No, they're into windmills and all that now. Electric cars, you know. They're not complaining about it. So you know there's something else behind it, right? And it's probably them. Because no company is going to tolerate government interfering in their business. No legitimate business would tolerate it, put it that way. No business that isn't in cahoots with government would tolerate it. But they do. So then you know they're in cahoots with government. And if that's the case, you know nothing they do for you, they claim to do for you, is for your benefit. It's for the benefit of those who rule you. And that's the people who rule your government, which is the oil companies, the big pharma corporations, you know, the usual suspects, the media. Your government's just a sideshow, a puppet show, a theatre of nightmares. Because all they ever do is harm. I can't really recall anything of any significance that a government, my whole life, has ever done, which is a direct benefit to the people. You know, they'll say, "Oh, we're taking 2 cents or 2p off the price of a gallon of petrol," or something, you know, some other ridiculous thing. And of course they'll screw it out of you some other way to get that back. Because governments never cut their tax revenue, ever. It always goes up. Now, they may claim that less people have paid tax over a certain period of time, but that's probably because you've made them poor and they can't afford to spend money on things. It's well known that if you reduce, in the UK it's called VAT, which is 21%, by the way. Americans think it's bad at 7%. Imagine 21%. I'll probably go that way anyway. But once the carbon credits come in, the carbon taxes, that will all be lumped into that, and your sales tax will go through the roof. But yeah, it's well known. I think this might have been done, I can't remember, the Second World War, something like that, or one of the wars anyway, that if they reduced the VAT, value added tax, sales tax, then tax revenues went up because people went out and spent more money. You know, if people have more money in their pockets, they're going to spend more money, right? You keep taking it off them in taxation and other things, then they don't have the money to spend on, you know, let's call it luxury goods, things you don't actually need. Okay? So the tax revenue, it puts people off actually using money to keep the economy going, to keep people in business, to keep people employed. It's all destructive. Government's role is destructive. It's not there to help anyone. It doesn't matter what their ideology is, doesn't matter what they say their belief systems are, and they don't care what your belief systems are. Most people just want to go through life, raise a family. Well, maybe not nowadays, but that was generally the way when I was younger. Most people just want to go through life, they want to have a job. People want to do things. People don't want to sit in their backsides all day doing nothing. People want to have things to do. And if they can make a living doing it, all the better. And especially if they enjoy it. Now, I'm never going to make a living selling jewellery, handmade jewellery. But I enjoy doing it, and it makes a bit of extra money. So that's what I do. I'll be starting my seasonal work with a delivery company, not Amazon, in the next week or so, and that'll take me through to Christmas. But that will get me extra money for hard times during the year, which we always have. Car breaks down or whatever. We've got a few repairs to do at the house, stuff like that. But we'll survive, and I'll pay as little tax as possible, because let's face it, the people who pay no tax are the biggest criminals on the planet. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. What do you think, Jack? Jack, come here, say hello. Jack. I see he's pretending his camera's shy now. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and let's see what Puppet's put in next week, if we actually know. Who knows, this could go on for months. And no, we'll see what happens.